Good morning.
Hi,
Good
Karen.
morning,
How are
Barbara.
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, very good.
I'm so glad you're here today. Barbara is joining us at the Keene Valley Library as an artist and is going to do an art project for you today, with you today.
That's right.
And
But before that,
I'm Karen Glass and I'm going to read you a story. So here we go.
here we go.
Good morning. Today's book is I'm Not Just a Scribble. The book is by Diane Alber. This is a story about Scribble, whose lines would cross and wiggle. Tiny loops would start him small. Bigger swirls would make him tall. He could be shades of green or baby blue, even crazy colors. He loved them too. Choosing bright colors made him feel free. You never knew which one he would be. Then one day, Scribble took a short walk where he found a house and stopped to talk. "Hello," said Scribble. "It's such a great day. I thought I'd come over and we could all play." The house never saw anything like Scribble before, but he was curious enough to find out a bit more. So even though he was grumpy and didn't want to play, he still managed to grunt, "What are you anyway?" Scribble was confused and didn't know what to say, so he said to the house, "I'm just a scribble, is that okay?" "It's not okay," said the house. "You don't look right. Your lines aren't straight and your colors are too bright." "But color is fun," said Scribble. "I can show you why. Just give me a chance. Please let me try." "No," said the house. "You cannot stay. You're nothing like me. Now go away." Hearing these words made Scribble so sad. A tear ran down his face. He felt really bad. "But I won't be upset," he proclaimed that day. So he changed his color and he went away. He continued his walk and soon found the sun, along with the clouds. They could all have some fun. But the sun saw him coming and told him to stop. "Your lines are too messy and we don't have a mop. Turn around, little Scribble," he went on to say. "Go back to your home. Please, go away." "But you're not being nice," Scribble shouted, quite mad. "The fact that I'm different doesn't make me so bad. My colors are special and my lines are just fine. If you give me a chance, we could have a great time." Should we ask him to play? They huddled to discuss. It's fun with more friends. It's usually just us. And although they were worried this wouldn't work out, being mean to Scribble wasn't what they were about. Scribble was surprised at what he saw the next day. All the drawings were there, and they wanted to play. Even Rainbow showed up, and he never came by. He was standing right there near the sun in the sky. "We're so sorry," said the colors as they held back their tears. "Please, come and play," said the house. "We haven't had fun in years." "I forgive you," Scribble shouted as he did a happy dance. They were so grateful he gave them another chance. Scribble gathered up his colors and played with everyone. Blue, purple, green, and yellow. It was all so much fun. Look what they created when they finally came together. The art was so beautiful, and it was better than ever. Special thanks, Scribble Sticker Art. The end.
Hi, I'm Barbara, and we're going to do an art project today about the book I'm Not Just a Scribble. Scribbles are wonderful, aren't they? We make them all the time. Sometimes because we plan to, and sometimes because, well, they just seem to happen. Today, for this project, you will need a piece of black paper. It can be rectangular or square, whatever you have, but big enough. You'll also need a bottle of white glue, some oil pastels, crayons, a couple of paper towels just in case, gets sticky. And you'll need to remember to have something on top of your work surface. Maybe you just want to put some newspaper down under your paper. Or maybe you have a plastic tablecloth like I have. That way we don't harm the table, because white glue is kind of hard to get off sometimes. Now, if you don't have any black paper today, don't worry about it. We can do this project with white paper and a Sharpie pen. But if you do have the black, this will be a good adventure. All right, so do we have everything? Let's begin. Today we're thinking about scribbles, which are kind of lines, aren't they? But we're not going to be making scribbles today with a marker or a crayon or a pencil. We're going to be making the lines with the white glue. That's different. But what's magical about it is you don't have any time to think. You just kind of let it happen. Because when you start pouring that white glue, it's an adventure. Let's begin. You need to open up your glue bottle. And today we're going to be thinking about how lines come together and make shapes. You can start your line from the edge, or from the middle, or from anywhere. It's your project. Always keep that in mind. It's your project. Holding the glue maybe a little bit above the paper. Too close and it gets mushy. It doesn't make a very nice line. Too high and the line is super thin. We want our line to be sort of thick and sort of thin. Ready? I'm going to start on the edge. And I squeeze the glue out of the bottle. And go to another edge. Made a line. I'm not just a scribble. I'm going to start on that line and make another one and go off the edge this time. Now these shapes are kind of rounded. Often we call those organic shapes because they remind us of things in nature. And most things in nature are sort of round. However, we can also make geometric shapes, which are very pointed, like rectangles and squares and triangles. It doesn't matter. You can do either one or both, as I have. So I'm taking my scribble, which is much more than a scribble, and every now and then I stop so I can see what I'm doing. I wouldn't just go crazy, although that could be a really cool project all by itself. But for this project, probably need a little bit more paying attention. Again, I'm starting on the edge and going off the edge. I can make straight lines. And sometimes, oops, there's a beautiful oops right there, but that'll be actually pretty special. Where the glue pools a little bit, where you have a little more than just the line, that's okay. But then almost everything in art is pretty okay. All these lines are coming together, do you see, and making shapes. But some of the shapes are still way too big, so I'm going to keep going. Now, if you're having a little trouble with holding your arms up above this, you might need to stand up while you're working. That's okay. I think I'm all right sitting down. But, okay. So I keep stopping every now and then to see how a shape might become even more interesting by adding a little bit more line. And I do this all over the paper so that I have shapes where part of those shapes, the are formed by the edges. But some of my shapes are just too big. I think I'll make a, oh, you want to try to avoid, for this project, having a line end nowhere. This isn't a shape yet because it can open. It's called an open form. It's kind of like leaving your door open to your house. We need to close that. Now I could close it a couple of different ways. I could close it as a circle like that. Now I have a shape within a shape. That works. Or if I've done that somewhere else and realize, how am I going to make that a closed form where the color can't get out, I'll just make sure that those ends end against either another white line or the edge of the black paper. Now, I think there's just a few more places. Again, that's just too much. I need to close off some of those shapes into smaller ones, I think, because I'm going to be needing to think about coloring them in the second part of this project. Sometimes it works to look at it in different ways. Ooh, here's a big shape I can make much more interesting. There. You don't want to make your shapes too small. It would be hard to get the craypaw in there to color it. All right. I think maybe I have enough shapes and lines. So now I need to take a break because I need the white glue to dry. Maybe it's a good time for a snack. I'll see you again when your glue is dry. Welcome back. I think my glue has dried now, and it's kind of magical because it's no longer white. In fact, it's like a shiny black. The magic of white glue is that it usually dries clear, right? So what is showing below is the black paper. The glue didn't turn black. At least, I don't think so. So we're continuing our project today, and you'll be needing your craypaws, your oil pastels. Again, if you don't have the oil pastels, and or if you did your project on white paper with a Sharpie, you can do the project just the same. Doesn't matter at all. So, in between all these black lines, I have shapes. And now my task is to color in those shapes. You can choose any colors you like. I've got a couple started here. I think my next one just might be orange. You take the craypaws and you do your best to stay coloring in, pressing down a little bit hard because craypaws are like that. Oil pastels, part chalk and part crayon. Kind of magic. Sometimes I get a little bit that I don't want on the black line, and I can just wipe that off with my finger. It doesn't really matter how you color it in. You can go back and forth and up and down. It's kind of like a different kind of scribble. But this time all my scribbles are coming together to make a colored shape. I've always liked craypaws, oil pastels. They're so delightfully messy. What will my next color be? Maybe yellow. The light, bright colors work so much better. I have a black in my box set here, but I don't think it would show. Maybe I'll just test it somewhere. No, black on black. That could be a different project. And if you're using this, it would probably work, although it would kind of take away that black line. Again, so much of art is experiment. It's discovery. It's what happens if I do that? What line, shape, or color will make magic happen? That's what I love about what I'm doing. And I'm glad you're along and doing it with me today. What I want to think about when I do this is to probably not put two colors next to each other that are the same color. I could put the orange here again, but it wouldn't show up as brightly as if I used a different color beside. So I think I'll try this yellow over here. Well, this yellow isn't as bright as I would have liked, and some crayons are brighter than others. Let's try the red somewhere. Let's see how bright it might be. I'll put it down here. Ooh, that's kind of neat. Now when your crayons wear down, which this one has not yet, because this is a brand new set, just like your crayon, you can peel the paper away around the top edge. But I'll warn you, crayons break really easily. And if they do, don't worry about it. It happens. And they make the good colors just like always. So between every black line is a shape that needs to be colored in. Now I work with the work right in front of me. But instead of reaching over, I think I might be really smart and turn it so I can work without rubbing my arm on what I've already done. Doing this also allows me to see the project in a different way. It's almost like it's entirely different. What color next? There's this sort of interesting salmon pink color. Maybe I'll put it here. Oops, got a little bit on the black. Wipe that away. Now this project takes a little while, especially when one wants to do it really well. Sometimes we just make a scribble and we don't care. But sometimes when we take a lot of time to do a project, it's nice to take our time in doing it. Often I will take a break in the middle of a project. I will decide, oh, I think I just need to do something else for a few minutes, and then come back and work later. That's okay. In fact, that's what we're going to do right now. You work on yours or take a break. I'll work on mine, and I'll see you again in a few minutes. Welcome back. I finished my project. I hope you did too. I love all the colors, how they mix and blend together, and yet, because of the black line, they aren't exactly touching. It reminds me a little bit of a stained glass window, where the black is like the lead, and the colors are like the colored glass that we see. If you did your project on white, I didn't finish this one, as you can see, but it's just as exciting. One of the things you might want to consider now is which way up you like it. When you made it, you turned it, or maybe you turned it, as you colored in the spaces. But now maybe you have a favorite way of looking at it. Maybe this way, maybe this way. I'm not sure. I might need to think about it a little bit more. An abstract lets us do that because it's not really a picture of anything. A drawing of a tree, we'd probably notice if it was upside down. But with an abstract, it doesn't really have a name. It's more of a design. So it doesn't have a right side up or an upside down. You just get to look at it and choose which way you like it better. Well, that was an adventure about not just being a scribble, and I hope you enjoyed it. and I'll see you again soon.